The best way to learn how to trade is by trading. I repeat, the best way to learn how to trade is by trading. How are you guys doing today? It's a pleasure having you here. How are you doing today? It's a pleasure having you here. Once again, my name is Tolu of CSA Forex, Common Sense Approach to Forex Trading. That's the name of my academy. How are you doing today? It's a pleasure having you here with us today. If you can hear me, if the audio is good to go, let me know. Comment in the chat section. And then also let us know where you are connecting to us from. That would be appreciated as well. So we are going to be discussing the market today. And I'll just say, unfortunately, I don't have much in the market. Unfortunately, I don't have any trade opportunity today, and it tends to happen. It's not all the time that the market gives you opportunity. And we're going to talk about what just happened in the market. Something just happened in the market for the dollars, right? But I need your feedback to be sure that the audio is good to go. Yesterday we had double audio. You could hear my voice 2 times. So I want to just confirm that that is not beautiful. Okay, I can see Emmanuel Barrio. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your names well. I can see Emmanuel said, okay, I can hear you. Maurice Stoy said, yes. Hello, sir. Hi, everyone. Okay, beautiful. Started, yes. Yes, we are starting now. Beautiful. So you're all welcome. Pleasure having you here. To those that are new in the business of trading, you're welcome. To those that have been trading for a while, and you happen to be struggling, you're welcome as well. So we always say, okay, thank you, Mr. Adams said audio is okay as well. Great. So we always say that the best way to do anything in life is by actually doing it. So you want to learn how to be a professional trader, you need to start learning how to place trades using proper analysis, market analysis, fundamentals, and technical analysis, right? And one thing I would say, it is not all the time that you have trade opportunities. I repeat, this is not all the time that you have trade opportunities. Like me today, I do not really have any trade opportunity for today. And then also note this, that there is no strategy that is 100%. I repeat, there is no strategy that is 100%. Now, a quick one with respect to disclaimer, kindly note that this information should not be used as a form of signal, should not be used as a form of investment advice. Please note that this is strictly for educational purposes only, right? For us to learn how to trade the market. And also note that this is a trading session and not a training session. So we're going to be talking about trading with respect to different strategies. Yes, we can talk about different strategies because at the end of the day, the main purpose of why we are here is to make money. I repeat, the main purpose of why we're here is to make money. So we can discuss different strategies, at least the ones that I am conversant with, and see what we can make out of the market. And we'll discuss this from different time frames as well, whether you are a scalper, intraday, swing, or position trader, right? So you're welcome once again. To those just joining us, you're welcome. Let us know where you're connecting to us from, right? Once again, my name is Tolu of CSA Forex, which stands for Common Sense Approach to Forex Trading. You can check out my website, www.csaforex.com, right? And then, of course, this is brought to you by Trading Live. So I want to appreciate the platform Trading Live for this wonderful opportunity to meet up online and then to discuss the business of trading. So talking about the business of trading, we always say the first thing, you will hear us say this right before we look at any chart. We always say that the first thing anybody and everybody must do, as long as you call yourself a trader, the first thing you must do is to check on the calendar, check on the news, right? Check on the news coming out today. And here is the news, right, for the week. So this is the calendar for the week. So you can see we have Monday, we have Tuesday, we have Wednesday, and today we have Thursday. And these are the high impact news. Under the impact, you have the colors yellow, you have orange, and then red. Yellow stands for low impact, orange stands for medium impact, and then red stands for high impact. You can see if I put the mouse over the red, it says high impact expected. So this high impact expected simply means that there could easily be volatility, fresh volatility that will be introduced to the market that will cause some sudden moves in the market. And the time here, right, that you can see here, 13:30, which is 1:30 p.m. This is UK time. So UK time, about 30 minutes ago, we had news that came up for the USD, and it was high impact. And this had to do with the GDP and also the unemployment claims. And if you look very well, this one was red, telling us that it is a sell, while this one was green, telling us that it was a buy. So you have two different interpretations here for these two news that came out at the same time for USD. So that means that you wouldn't obviously know if you're going to be using this news to buy the dollar or to sell the dollar. So I would always advise that when you have mixed information, the best thing to do is to be on the sidelines. And that is what I was. I was on the sidelines for this news. And of course, after checking the news, after checking on the fundamentals, the next thing for you to do is what? The next thing for you to do is to check on the technicals, right? So we're going to look at the technical analysis now to find out what happened based on that news. And we always say that at least for now, the US dollar happens to be the most traded currency in the world. I repeat, for now, I'm saying for now, because of what the BRICS are trying to do. The BRICS are trying to form a coalition where they can topple the US dollar, right? And then they're working on putting the Chinese yuan as the most traded currency in the world. But obviously, that's going to take a while. And of course, we'll see how that turns out. So we all know politically this year and even last year, or even for a little while now, ever since we've been having the US and China trade wars, right? I'm sure you guys can remember the US and China trade wars has been ongoing for a while. Even though we have not been hearing much, it is still very much there. And you can see that the China, they're very much on the come up, and we'll see how that also pans out. This year, even talking about the US dollar, because we're going to cross over to the charts now, as I said, talking about the US dollar, let me cross over to the charts first of all. Talking about the US dollar, you'll notice something. This is the US dollar for today. This is the action for today. I'm going to talk about this, but I want us to look at the US dollar with respect to for the year, right? I'm going to show you something with respect to the year. If I'm not mistaken, the US dollar started around for this year. Let me try to look for the area. It started around, let me try to look for where the market started this year. Let me just pop this one open and then let's look for 2023. I think it started around here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, around here. So let me put this vertical line here. So you look at the US dollar, it gave us mixed feeling, mixed interpretations from the beginning of the year. This is the daily time frame as well to have a bigger view of the market. First of all, we had the January, because this is January. Let me put J here for January. This is January, month of January. This is February here. This is March, right? And these three happen to form the Q1, the first quarter of the year. And then this is April over here. So just for us to have an idea of what's happening in the market. So January, we had it as a bearish move. And then February came and it was a bullish move that canceled the whole of January. It canceled the whole of January. You'd have been expected that the dollar would be bearish right from January's move, but you can see February took out the whole thing. And then March took out the whole thing again. March took out the whole thing. So from the beginning of the year, we had this kind of sideways movement, right? From the beginning of the year, we've had this kind of sideways movement from these highs over here, right, to this lows over here. So we had this sideways movement. And if you look at this over here, price now, presently as we speak, price seems to be sitting on these lows for the year. These are the lows for the year on the dollar, right? Which is just about 101, the 101 marker. So we can see prices sitting here. What are we expecting for this year in this Q2? Because April is going to be ending in a few days. I'm expecting to see going into May, right, that the price should break out to the downside. This is Q2. Don't forget the second quarter of the year. I'm assuming that the price should break down on this dollar. Don't forget the dollar is key, is a major key indicator for the major currency pairs, even for gold, right? And even for Bitcoin. So if this happens, if it drops, then we should now use this area as a form of resistance and then look to drop some more. So do not be surprised if you see the US dollar, the US index getting to levels of 95. If this happens, then you should expect the Euro USD, as an example, to appreciate, because the USD index, once it is dropping, once it is going down, expect the Euro USD to go up, expect gold to go up as well, right? And also some other major currency pairs to follow as well. And all of this has to do with correlations. If the Euro USD is going up, you would expect the USD CHF to be going down, right? So we need to pay attention to all of this. This is the long-term view. I repeat, this is the long-term view for the dollar. So you often hear us talk about the dollar, you often hear us do some analysis on the dollar to have a better understanding of what we're expecting on the long run. This long run is where you find swing and position traders, the likes of the Warren Buffett. And of course, this is when it becomes more and more of passive. Trading is meant to be passive and not active, meaning that you are meant to be in front of a system as less as possible. But people are always in front of the system, staring at the market. They can't even sleep well because they're always looking at the market. They're driving, you're looking at the market. I'm sure some of us are guilty of these things that we have mentioned. So as we have talked about the US dollar now, let's cross over to the US dollar for the intraday move. Remember we said that we had news that came out not too long ago. I repeat, we had news that came out not too long ago, but even with the news, my bias was bullish. I repeat, even with the news, my bias was bullish to see the USD appreciate, right? So now, as we continue now, I'm going to be switching over to the comment section as well to see what we have coming from you guys. And if you have any currency pair, please, guys, if you have any instrument of choice that you want us to look at, then I would also discuss it now as well, right? So from the comment section, I can see, let's see, Victor, nothing is saying, what is your opinion regarding gold? We'll look at gold in a bit. Ben Sinclair said, do you think that EURUSD is a profitable pair? Yes, of course, it is always profitable, whether you are buying or whether you are selling, right? So from what we're talking about here, we need to understand the market. We need to know what is happening in the market to give us a clue. Now you can see what's happening on the dollar. That's what's happening on the dollar. As a matter of fact, before this move, I did a screenshot. Right? And I'm going to show you now. I was expecting the dollar to appreciate, and this is the screenshot over here. I was expecting the dollar to appreciate based on this area here, this recent area of demand. Remember, we always use the form of support and resistance, and we also use supply and demand, right? In order to pick our directions, how the price is going to move, the directional bias, and also to pick our exit and our entries as well, right? Because you must have a reason for entry, you must also have a reason for exit. And this is what we had over here. You can see I put this diagonal here to show that I'm expecting to push higher to this place. And of course, if it gets to this point, you should be looking forward to selling opportunities. But because there was going to be volatility in the market, I was not expecting to place any trade here because it could have gone the other way. And I knew for a fact that the candle that was going to form was going to be a big one. And you can see, switching back to the live trading application, if you look very well, you can see this is what we had, and price is more or less approaching that area here now. You can see this big candle that we have over here. It shows that the price first of all went down and then hit this level very well and then push higher. If you are an aggressive trader, this is one that you could have taken and then had your stop loss just below that area of demand, right? But for me, I'm not an aggressive trader. I like to have confirmation based on candlestick patterns in order to jump in. So this is for the USD index. And looking at the USD index, you can also see that the reverse, the opposite will be the case for the Euro USD. You can see the Euro USD, it drops according to what the dollar was doing. Remember earlier we said if the dollar is going up, then we should be expecting the Euro USD to go in the opposite direction. I repeat, we should be expecting it to go in the opposite direction. And let me ask you guys this question. As the dollar, this is the dollar over here, as the dollar appreciated, what do you think would happen to gold? Somebody asked, what about gold? Analysis on gold. So what do you think will happen to gold based on the directional bias? The thing that should happen to gold is what? Gold should what? Gold should drop. I repeat, gold should drop. I can see Mr. Adam said Euro Chef and Pound Chef. Okay, we'll try to look at them in a bit. So gold should drop. So if you look at gold over here, voila, gold dropped according to that information that we have on the dollar. And one thing about gold and one thing about trading is that you need to ensure that your eyes, right, is ready to pick out on patterns, because everything has to do with patterns, right? And we talk about patterns with respect to price action, candlestick patterns, and even we talk about patterns with respect to chart patterns with the likes of what we call head and shoulders, with what we call pennants, flags, wedges, and so on. And there was a pattern over here. If you look over here, this was a shoulder, left shoulder. This was a head over here, the head, and this was the right shoulder, And look at what will happen. Price gets into the right shoulder, it drops accordingly, right, to what the dollar was saying. And now it is approaching this area here of demand. You can see this area here of demand right in front of us. When price gets to this area, we need to now find out what price actually we're going to have here. Is it going to bounce or is it going to break? And one thing I would also tell you that as today is Thursday, it starts to get a bit tighter, getting fresh opportunities in the market because the market is gradually rounding up for the week, right? So this was a pattern over here, the head and shoulders pattern, as you can see, where someone could have used as a form of entry. I repeat, could have used as a form of entry, but I am not an aggressive trader, so that's not one I was going to use, right? Even though you see the pattern, it's now for you to decide if you're going to use the pattern or not. Don't forget, as a trader, whether you are new, especially if you're new, please listen to this carefully. If you are a new trader, always make sure you check on the calendar. First things first, check on the calendar to find out the news that you have coming out. And then also ensure that you cross over to your technicals and make sure that they align. So if you have news coming out for USD or euros or whatever, and the news that drops at that particular time is bullish, right, then you should cross over to your charts and then make sure they align accordingly. So if it's that you're going to be buying a particular currency pair, you wait for the price to get to the area of support or to get to the area of demand. I repeat, you wait for the price to get to the area of support or to get to the area of demand for you to buy, and vice versa, right? So Mr. Adams asked for Euro Chef. We're going to look at Euro Chef now and Pound Chef. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for Euro Chef here on the list. This is Euro Chef. I'm going to click on it. Now, before I click on it and drag it in, I want to tell you how we're going to be looking at the market. We will be looking at the market based on support and resistance, and then based on supply and demand. We're going to find out whether it has any opportunities for us right at the moment, or whether it's going to give us any opportunity much later. And based on the time frame, I like using 1 hour time frame a lot. It is not too fast, it is not too slow. It is ideal for trading, right? As a matter of fact, it is in the middle of the 1 minute and the 1 month time frames. So I'm going to put Euro Chef now on the chart. I'm going to drag it in and then release. And by the way, I do not trade Euro Chef, so I'm looking at this for the first time with you. We're going to be doing fresh analysis on this. Beautiful. Now, the fresh analysis on this, if you look at this very well, some things I can see, you can see the price has been pushing higher. So this is a fresh wave over here. This is a fresh wave of buyers over here. You can see, first of all, initially at the very beginning, from this point, let me just do some markings for your eyes, for our eyes. From this point where the market started from to where it was over here, before all of this happened, before all of this move happened, this entire move happened, you'd have easily said that this was what? That this was a downtrend. This was a downtrend over here. That's what you could have said. But look at what has happened now. This move, this entire up move has what? Has cancelled all of this, down move, right? That has cancelled the down move. You can now start to say that the buyers are obviously taking control. The buyers are taking control, they're taking charge. So what I would personally like to see on this particular chart that we have in front of us is a pullback. You could have a pullback to this area here of demand, have a pullback to this area of demand, right? Where you love the buyers to come in fresh, because buyers will have to take their profit, like take their profit here, and then when the price comes back to this point here, to now be a thing of reload. They're going to reload on their position, and then they're going to take it back up, right? And then also, based on this move, this fresh move that we have over here from this lows, let me do some markings again for our eyes. Based on this lows over here, so these highs, we can decide to add Fibonacci to the mix. You can draw a Fibonacci from this lows to the highs here, and see what it gives us as a form of confluence. Remember, we said that the major thing, the only thing you see on my own chart personally, I am a price action trader. So the things that you will see on my chart would most likely be the Fibonacci retracement tool. The Fibonacci retracement is a tool and not an indicator. So I'll click here and then drag it all the way up to these highs here. And if you look very well, this area that we're expecting the price to come back to, it confluences with the 50 marker. It confluences with the 50 marker where we would like to place our buy positions, especially using entry triggers. Entry triggers, the likes of the price action candles, like the engulfings or the pin bar hammers. And in this case, because we want to buy, it's going to be known as the bullish engulfing or the bullish pin bar, the bullish hammer candles that we should find in this area to enter and then take it back to these highs over here. So for this one, there isn't much opportunity here for now, at least, especially as a trend trader. As a trend trader, there isn't much opportunity. But if you're looking to be a counter trend trader, for the highs that we have here, you can mark this as a form of resistance. You can see where the price is more or less. You can mark this area. It's called an area or a level or a zone. So you can mark that area as a form of what? As a form of resistance. I can see that is most likely why the market is reacting to that area there, right? So that could easily be a place for you to look for sell positions. But I am strictly a trend trader, and not a counter trend trader. So I'll prefer that we look for trend opportunities in the market, right? Okay, so now let's continue, guys. You're welcome. For those that are saying they're just joining us, you're welcome. Let us know where you are connecting to us from, what part of the world. I am here in British Columbia, that is in Canada. Let us know where you're connecting to us from. And if you have any currency pair on the radar, let us know. How has your trading been this week so far? This week, how has the trading been? I haven't had much opportunity because the dollar has been moving more or less sideways, right? The dollar is moving more or less sideways, and sideways ranging market, consolidating market is one where you don't have any clarity with respect to the buyers or the sellers. Who is leading in the market? You are not really sure. So for Mr. Adams that said Euro CHF, that is the Euro CHF for you. That's the analysis that we have. And now we're going to look at the pound CHF. So guys, if you have any instrument of choice that you want us to analyze, you can as well comment with the instrument, and you can also comment on the time frame as well, because the time frame is equally very much important as well. So let's look for the pound CHF. This is pound CHF over here. I'm going to click on it and drag it into the chart window area, and it's going to give us information for pound CHF now. Beautiful. Now you can see the information for pound CHF. Now you can see, similar to that euro CHF that we looked at, you can see that we have this move, this up move here. But now if you ask me, the difference between this pound CHF and the euro CHF now is that this one is looking more like a pullback of this entire move from here all the way down here using the Fibonacci. You can see it has gotten to the 61.8 marker, the 61.8 marker. And if you look very well, I'm going to do some markings over here. If you look very well, we have this area here as a form of supply. We have this area here as a form of supply, where if you look, this was the origin of the move down here. This was when it came back to test that area. After this place, the price went down and then came out to test here. So this is the same scenario that we have over here. As the price has gone down, it is coming back to test this area here on the pounds Swissie. So do not be surprised if price gets to this point, this area here. And this is a fantastic trade to look out for. This is one that is with this particular trend. This is with the trend, the overall trend on this pound chart 1 hour time frame. So if you look over here, then this is one that we should clearly be looking out for price action or chart patterns here. Price action or chart patterns. By the way, when we talk about chart patterns, I'm going to show you one now. I'm going to draw one now for you to have a look at, because the way the market is moving in a kind of like flag pattern, right? So you could also have your diagonal line to help you out in drawing your pattern. So you can see from here, price moved from here, then came out to bounce off here. It didn't quite get it, but also pushed higher. So as you have this here, you can extend this line to this other side here that you have, and then even do an extension. This will be an extension play if you move it to this point. And I'm going to explain, if you look at very well, because at the end of the day, everything must merge at based on what we're talking about. So if you look over here, price, we use this point and this point for our basis for drawing this pattern that we have over here. When we said all we're doing is trading price, and we're trading it based on patterns, whether it is candlestick patterns or it is chart patterns, it's always good for you to combine them. Price didn't quite get it, but it went back up. Now look over here, you can call this an area of support over here because the price went up. I can see, if you look very well, price tends to move like in a snake-like pattern. If you look, moving like in a snake-like pattern, and it's moving in patterns, as we said. Now look at where it is now. Over here, do not be surprised if it moves a bit higher in this manner and gets to this area of supply, which confluences with the 61.8. And when it gets here, the only thing I would just like to see personally would be a price action candlestick pattern for us to sell and then to take it back down, right? So take it back down, first of all, to this area, to this other area here of this pattern, and then to see whether it will break out, use to retest, and then drop further down. So you could always map out your charts based on the pattern that you believe it is going to go. And this is one that we can see over here, where we have used as a form of confluence. We have three major things that we have used as a form of confluence here. We have the Fibonacci, which is the 61.8 area. We have the supply area, another confluence, and we have this chart pattern moving in this channel, as you can see, moving in this channel up as a form of retracement, and this is what we're expecting. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I like this chart a lot, right? And I'm going to do a screenshot from my own end. I'm going to do a screenshot so I can follow up with it, right? I really like this chart, but I personally am going to do a screenshot of this, and I'm going to keep it. So you can also do the same from your end, do a screenshot, keep it, and then follow up on it, because this move might not happen while, well, I won't say might, I'll say will not happen as we're together now. I'll say that because we will be rounding up within a few minutes. Most times we don't make our sessions for our live sessions too lengthy because the market is ongoing now. And I know some of us are busy looking at the charts. And let us know, what instrument are you looking at now? What instrument are you looking at now? So let's also look at it with you. What currency pair are you looking at now? Okay. I can see some comments here. Let me just go over the comments as well. I always like to go through the comments to know if you have any questions and we can address it. Don't forget, this is a trading session and not a training session. So in this trading session, we're looking at charts live to see what we can make out of it. If there's any live opportunity, we can take it now. Or if there is an opportunity much later, like this pound chart that we have in front of us, we can look at it as well. We can also look at trading opportunities from the scalping perspective. I know we will probably have scalpers because most people normally start as a scalper, but meanwhile, I always say scalping is usually fast, so most times I don't encourage scalping. But we can look at the market from the scalping. So we're going to just do that. Maybe we'll just pick, what instrument do you think we should look at from the scalping time frame? Scalping, we can look at maybe 5 minutes or the 15 minutes. 1 minute will be too fast. Okay, so some comments here. I can see Saxon Southie. I'm not sure when you came in, but you said great, sir. Just coming in. Hello, everyone, and you're greeting everyone. I don't know IXPN, don't know your name. That's what we always say when you come in. Either you're signing in with your name or you tell us your name and where you are connecting to us from. It's always good for us to know where you're connecting from, just in case I happen to be in your neighborhood later. We can always connect. And I've been having people in my DM, especially my Instagram DM. So you're welcome to reach out to me on the Instagram DM. And the Instagram DM is at CSA Forex. I'm going to type it out now so you can see it, and then you can chat me up via Instagram, and then you can ask your questions. People normally ask questions, and then I get to reply them, because I tend to comments over here, it might be way too much for me to be able to follow up with. Okay, Rachel South said, great work. Okay, great, thank you. Orville, hope I pronounce your name well. Orville Nicholas said, you are very helpful, thank you. I said, can you talk more about XAUUSD, that is gold? Ivan Haywood said, I'll follow you, sir. Thank you. Guys, you can follow me. You can also follow me on YouTube. I'm also streaming live on YouTube now. And of course, the handle for my YouTube is also CSA Forex. I can also drop the direct link for the YouTube so that you can follow me on the YouTube as well. Guys, let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you this question now, right? So now I have dropped the YouTube link for those on the Trading Live platform. I want to ask you guys this question. There's a question I normally ask people whenever I'm having like a webinar, maybe a weekend webinar or any exclusive webinar that I normally run from time to time. I normally ask you guys, I normally ask people, and I want to ask you guys, and I want an answer from you guys. How do you think I can help you out? How do you think I can help you out? How do you think CSA Forex can help you out? How do you think Trading Live can help you out? Let me know in the comment section, and then I'll try to reply in good time. So now I want us to do something as Ovio Nicholas, where are you from as well? Ovio said, can we talk more about gold? So I'm going to clean up this chart now. I'm going to clean it up, and then we're going to cross over to gold. But this time around, we're going to look at gold, no instrument for gold here. Let me just pick any one. We're going to look at gold. Let's go XAUUSD. We're going to look at gold, and we're going to look at it from different time frames. You can look at it from the daily, right, which is the high time frames, or we can as well look at it from the scalping perspective. Scalping is what I have over here for 5 minutes, or you can use this for 15 minutes. But then I'm going to do something for you guys now on this scalping time frame. I'm going to put this one up because scalping is within that day. I repeat, as a scalper, you're looking forward to trading within that day, right? It's not a thing where you want to trade for a long period of time and hold trades for long. No, it's going to be within that day. So if you look at what we have over here on the scalping time frame, first of all, what I'm looking at, because I'm not a scalper as such, once in a while I could drop down to this time frame just to look at what's happening underneath the hood. But look at what we have here from the beginning of today's information on gold. We had it go up, and then prior to the news, you can see it went all the way down. So we can easily say, and I'm stressing that aspect of easily, we can easily say from this time frame, the 5 minute time frame, that the sentiment for today, the directional bias for today has switched to bearish, right? Obviously, you can see it has switched to bearish, especially based on the news that came out for the dollar. No, we had the GDP and the unemployment claims that came out for the dollar. You can see the reaction, this big candle that started to move down. So as we have this move down, now clearly I want to sell. I'm looking for opportunities to sell. So looking for opportunities to sell, I can easily do this. I can easily mark this area here as my area of what? As my area of supply, right? Because what we're doing is looking at how price is moving. As price is moving in this manner, I'm also going to show you how price is moving. As price tends to move down in this manner, we look for this area here as an area of supply. You can also look for this area as an area of resistance. When it comes to supply and resistance, right, they are very similar, but then they are also different in a way as well, right? So you're looking forward to this area here and trying to pull back. I prefer the supply because supply is the area of origin. It shows the area of origin for you to get your entry and then take it back down. You can see this here is supply. This is supply. I can call this the area of resistance. But look at this. This resistance is even too close to this price, where the price is now. So obviously, I'll not be looking forward to scalp where I place a trade here with a profit of this. That does not make sense. I hope you understand. So the best thing to do is wait for price to get to this point here, to this area of supply. I get my entry here and I take it back down to the lows over here. And of course, this is for the day. So that means that as a scalper using this 5 minute time frame, you're looking forward to entry based on a few seconds to maybe even a few minutes, right? To a few minutes, but you're not going to hold this trade for like hours or to the next day. If not, it will not be called a scalping move as well. Maybe we should even look for a day, maybe next week, and we'll look for strictly scalping opportunities, because scalping opportunities within the 30 minutes, 1 hour time frame that we are always together for these our live trading sessions, we should be able to find some opportunities in the market. And from what we have in front of us as well, I could also add Fibonacci to the mix to see how to confluence with this area. So I can add Fibonacci from the highs over here all the way to the lows. I can see we have it at 38.2. So the 38.2 area of interest, the 38.2 area of zones, the zones area, the levels, or whatever you want to call it, is now a good place to wait for this price to get to. So as we're talking about this now, I hope I'm not too fast. For the person, Nicholas, I believe, that said, we should talk more about gold. This is gold from the scalping time frame. The scalping time frame. You can also look at it from the swing position time frame as well, maybe like the 4 hour stroke daily time frame. Because as a trader, right, just like driving, you should be able to drive your car fast, drive your car slow, drive your car at regular speed. It is up to you, right? So based on your trading style, whether you're a scalper, intraday, swing position, you should still be able to analyze the market from different time frames. I repeat, you should be able to analyze the market from different time frames because you are a trader, you are an analyst, right? And that should make you to be a flexible trader. So Nicholas, let me just check the comment section. Hope you're okay with this that we just looked at. No. Let's see. Somebody is saying something that about is going to be, Sarah is saying that it's going to be a volatile trading day tomorrow. When you say tomorrow, you need to pay attention to the news. Tomorrow being Friday, yes, indeed, beautiful. Thank you. I just looked at it, and I'm going to switch over to that based on what Sarah just said. I just looked at the calendar for Friday, so I'll switch over to that shortly. Will you trade tomorrow? Most times I don't trade Fridays because Friday is like the happy day of the week where traders are closing. So you have profit taking days for that Friday. And besides, that is the day that the market is going to close for the week. And I do not hold trades. I personally do not hold trades over the weekend. That's my own style of trading. Okay. Owen Franklin said, thank you, sir. Not really sure what you're saying. Thank you for. Can't remember what I might have said. Okay. Can't really see any other question coming from you guys. And on the YouTube live, can't see any new fresh question or comment. So that means that we'll be rounding up in a few minutes from now, right? So I also want to encourage everybody, right? I want to encourage you guys, do the needful, look at your trading instrument from different time frames, have different views of the market, whether you are looking to buy, you're looking to sell. Always try to pay attention to what the other party is trying to do. And I always say, just like chess, I don't know whether you play chess here, but before you move your pawn or your knight or your rook or your king, your queen or whatever piece, you always picture what the other person is going to do, what the opponent is going to do. Meaning that if you decide to move your queen, what would your opponent do? That means that you could have easily played like 3, 4, 5 scenarios if you do one particular thing. And that simply means that as a buyer, you need to also pay attention to the sellers. What would the sellers want to do? They want to sell, obviously. Where would they want to sell? You have an idea of that. And then also the reverse is the case when you're looking forward to selling. You reverse it and say, as you're looking forward to selling, what do the buyers want to do? Where do they want to do it? And that will give you a good idea of what's happening in the market. Now, if you look at what's happening in the market now, you'll notice that from the scalping perspective, that price has broken from this lows over here. Broken from the lows over here. I will now have to adjust this Fibonacci, adjusting the Fibonacci to where it is. You can see now that our expectations, let me clean this up first of all. Right, you can see that from our fresh expectations, it has now confluenced with the 50 Fibonacci because of the move that went down. It is still very much valid for sell, So pay attention to this. If you are a scalper, this will be a good one for you to wait for price to get back to this area. And this is only for today, strictly for today. That means that tomorrow is fresh information for scalpers, because scalping is within that day. I repeat, scalping is within that day. So if you look at what we have right in front of us, it is for us to be able to see how we can take advantage. It's all about taking advantage of the market, seeing the opportunities, and then attacking. Now, I remember I said I wanted to open up the calendar, as Susan talked about. Tomorrow is going to be busy, and as tomorrow is going to be busy, it's going to be volatile indeed. This is what we're going to look at before we round up. I see tomorrow we have news for the JPY, the Japanese yen, and of course that's the monetary policy. And of course, you know what has been happening since last year, especially with the inflation and the rise, and of course different governments, different banks trying to curb it, the ECB, the Fed, and all. You can see we have news for euros, we have for JPY again, so it's going to be a big one for JPY. So make sure that you are careful with the Japanese yen pairs, and of course you have for CAD, you have for the dollar as well. Tomorrow is going to be busy, so make sure tomorrow being Friday, you do not give back your profits, because Friday is a period, is a time that people can easily give back their profits, is a time that people can easily lose a lot of money, right? And to be very painful going into the end of the week. And if you have not had any tangible opportunity, I repeat, if you have not had any tangible opportunity this week, do not sweat it. It is not every day that you have opportunities, and it's always best for you to wait for opportunities based on your trading plan. Don't forget, you must always have a trading plan, a serious, strict trading plan that will help you to attack the market accordingly, right? So do not be too aggressive. Wait for trade opportunities to come to you. Do not try to snatch candy, but rather wait for that candy to be presented to you. It might be presented to you within a day or two, or at times it's very possible for you not to have opportunities for a whole week. That happens to me at times. I think the last one was about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month ago thereabout. I didn't have an opportunity for that week, and it tends to happen. So I want to say thank you guys. Thank you. As we're rounding up now, I want to tell you guys a few things before we round up. First of all, try to get a mentor. Try to find a mentor that will show you the ropes, how to analyze the market from different angles in order to get clarity, to be in sync with the market. And if you are new or you are struggling, especially if you are struggling, you should already know the importance of a stop loss. Make sure you have your stop loss on your chart. I repeat, make sure you have your stop loss on your chart. It is there to protect your account. And then also make sure you calculate your risk management appropriately. Your risk management is there to ensure that when you have losses, because you are going to have losses, it is not a cost. You are all going to have losses. I'm going to have losses, but we must ensure that our risk management is there to minimize our losses. And of course, when you have runners, profits, you make sure that they run well enough. So the risk to reward ratio, will be one where the reward easily takes care of the risk. I repeat, it will be one where the reward easily takes care of the risk. So with that said, I want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you for commenting, for making it lively. Thank you, Mr. Adams. All the best to you as well. Let us know how your Euro Chef and Pound Chef, how they turn out. And don't forget, you can reach out to me via Instagram, right? And my Instagram handle, I believe I dropped it much earlier. The Instagram handle is at CSA Forex. I'm going to drop it again for you guys to take that, and you can chat me up privately if you have any questions, as some have been already been doing. And you can also check out the website. You can check out the CSA Forex website. It's easy to remember. I'm also going to type it out: csaforex.com, www.csaforex.com. So if you need any assistance, you can reach out to me and let's see what we can do for you. And of course, best of luck to everybody. Trade safely, enjoy the rest of the day, and goodbye for now. Right? Thank you and goodbye.